Hi, my name's Redmond. I'm Managing Director of NP Group RPO. We're a 180-man business operating in every continent around the world. I actually think offshoring has passed its moment. If it were a pendulum, it's coming back towards onshoring now. I think we're at a moment where nearshoring is something that you can see quite a lot of. And from a continental perspective, if we took Europe as an example, instead of people offshoring to destinations very far away, they're nearshoring to cheaper destinations in the same continent. So Lisbon and Portugal is a great example within Europe. The government is offering fantastic subsidies to attract European organisations to stay within Europe but go and bring business back to that economy. I think that we're going to see more nearshoring. I think what we will see much more of is hotspots in terms of talent. We're already experiencing that, and the way that affects our recruitment competence is that we need to be able to protect candidates when our clients decide that we've found the right candidate for them, and we need to be excellent at disarming counter offers, which is a unique talent actually, and I think that often recruitment organisations overlook that. So in terms of workforce planning, I think the main thing that every organisation should pay attention to is its budgetary targets, the amount of revenue and therefore profit that it needs to generate for its shareholders. That should always determine how much manpower it's going to need in order to hit those commitments to the board. I think the other things here are the nature of growth, where client markets are growing, where they're contracting, where it can be more effective to actually host business from. These are all of the things that we discuss with our clients when we do quarterly workforce planning, how it affects what they're going to need to do, where they're going to need to do it, and sometimes way ahead of time as well, such as developing an employee value proposition in a market so that by the time the company goes to the market, people are already aware of the brand. Nowadays, I think they all go together. I actually think you don't just get one of them. I think the difference with something like Twitter, if you take a customer service example, is that somebody can access Twitter on their mobile. You can access your Dropbox on your mobile through the cloud. You can make a customer complaint that the world can see while you're waiting in a queue at the post office by using your mobile. So, you know, it's not one or another of those things. All of those things come together nowadays, I think. Cloud computing for us is essential, because we've got lots of consultants all around the world operating in many different time zones on the road and in client sites. So we use Google extensively. We use Google Hangouts with each other to speak to each other. We use it on our mobiles, we use it on our laptops. We use Macs, we use PCs. The cloud is what really keeps those things together. It's the nucleus of our system. Everything for us is, all of our emails, all of our secure data is there in the cloud, and we constantly, iteratively look at making sure that it's secure, effective, fast, everything that it needs to be so that it's a pleasure to use and that it's really secure in terms of our intellectual property as well. Incredible. I mean, as I've mentioned before, we sandpit, we play with some big data platforms, and there's one that we use for a client in the US. Huge demand that we satisfy in the US for one of our biggest clients anywhere in the world. And we employ big data quite extensively. The intelligence that it offers us from the combination of data that it gathers in the internet is just it's incredible. The way that we've been able to pinpoint candidates, and not only pinpoint them, access them, reach them, talk to them about things that they're shocked we know about, just to get their attention, has often been the differentiator, which means we can deliver them to the door of our client. But big data has really shocked me in terms of how powerful it can be. There are lots of different applicant tracking systems as well, and we've even seen big companies such as IBM purchase an applicant tracking system such as Connexa, and then they create an RPO organisation. So we're seeing that convergence of big technology players actually buying recruitment companies, which is obviously an indication of a big need that they can satisfy for themselves. So I think that what we're going to see is that continue to converge and some interesting players entering the marketplace. The way that recruitment companies actually use technology is going to be interesting, because they're going to need to filter effectively. I think what we will see much more of is hotspots in terms of talent. We're already experiencing that, and the way that affects our recruitment competence is that we need to be able to protect candidates when our clients decide that we've found the right candidate for them, and we need to be excellent at disarming counter offers, which is a unique talent actually, and I think that often recruitment organisations overlook that. And I think that big data is also going to continue to evolve, unpack itself, crystallise in some ways. What we can see is that there are some fantastic big data products, and there are some not so good big data products in the recruitment market for technology companies. So I think that that's going to continue to play itself out as the market and the world explores big data and what that actually means. I think we see a huge spectrum of characteristics with people when they respond on emails, when they respond and we do video conferences with them, when they respond even with direct messages on platforms such as Twitter. I think it's super important that our screening process has got a diligent enough approach to quality assurance to identify whether or not we're seeing the full personality. Most of the time, customers have their eyes opened by what they can achieve through employing such basic things as Twitter, and increasingly Facebook as well actually. But we have to be quite precise, and we have to really understand what target market we're going to go after and how we're going to do that, what type of content and copy and even imagery now we're going to use in order to attract the attention that we need through using the social media platforms. We use Twitter generically and as a group, and we use Twitter specifically for our clients as well. I think that LinkedIn has actually become the drug of choice in the recruitment sector, and I don't think that's a healthy thing. I think that recruitment organisations must differentiate by demonstrating that they've got more in their armoury than the ability to log on to LinkedIn. And that's what we try and demonstrate. We definitely use it as a way to propagate the market, to gain intelligence on the market, to see who's in the market, but it's an entry point system for us. It's not our all and everything. So data centres is the best way of talking about green IT. But we spoke a lot about cloud, and obviously at some layer of the topology for any IT design, there has to be physical presence, whether that's a cable for connectivity or a physical server where data is actually hosted. Data centers are often these kind of temples of data. So we see lots of great examples with clients that we work with on how they're moving into a green space and a space where they can demonstrate lots of corporate social responsibility. In Dubai, for example, by hosting a data center in the middle of the sea where it uses the seawater for cooling. It's quite innovative, it's quite different. In Greenland, doing the same thing by burying the data center in ice. Quite amazing things to do, maybe not when you think about the complexity of the solution, not so amazing, but the bravery of the solution to say, yeah, we're going to go ahead and try that, is something that constantly makes me think, why didn't we think of doing that in the first place?